What disciplines will you compete in next week at Nationals?
At Nationals, we will compete in trap, doubles trap, skeet, double skeet, sporting clays, and super sporting. So we will shoot 100 targets of each discipline next week over the course of 5 days.
Coach, looking back to the beginning of the season to now, what kind of growth have you seen, and how does that excite you heading into next week?
Boy, we've seen a lot of growth over the course of the season. From our first event where we shot the Co-College 200 target sporting clays event all the way up to the event we shot 2 weekends ago at Sparta for an ACY regional. It's been tremendous growth. The coming back into the beginning of the season and off of summer break, whatnot, really gave us. People shot a lot over summer break, so I saw a lot of growth through that to come into the fall season and start off well, but knowing there was room for improvement still. So everything, all the work that we put into the fall, going to all the competitions to end it off by winning the state tournament was absolutely fantastic. A great way to end the fall season, from to start all the way to the finish of that long 10 weeks, but finish it off with a win, which was great. So now we're coming into the spring season knowing that we have the possibility to win what we want. We have the talent, we have the skill to be able to go down and compete in Division III, which means we're taking 10 or less athletes. In this case, we will be taking 10 athletes. So we have the capabilities to win any of the individual disciplines. As a team, as individuals, we can win the team HOA, no problem. I have true confidence in our team to be able to do so.
What will the preparation look like this week to be ready for this weekend's competition?
Boy, this season's been something special. The spring semester, I should say. We were supposed to start middle of February and unfortunately got a cold snap out of it, so had to push our practice back 2 weeks. So the weekend of the ACY event, the last week in February, first weekend of March, we had 5 days of practice leading up to that. That was Saturday through Wednesday. We practiced every day straight through to thus leave on Thursday to compete Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and followed it up with another practice Monday when we returned. Then athletes went home for winter break, and this week we started yesterday with some skeet practice, and then we were going to practice today, tomorrow, and Thursday before leaving on Friday for nationals. So yesterday we had skeet focused practice, getting in some skeet and some double skeet, and nailing down a lot of important fine tunings on that. Today, tomorrow, and Thursday, we are going to be focusing on the all-around. So I told the athletes how much they're going to be practicing, so that way they can make a plan. So we're going to be practicing all 6 disciplines at all 3 of our practices, but letting them know ahead of time what they're going to have available for practice gives them the availability to make a plan in their head to show up to practice. So rather than showing up going, well, what are we doing today? They can make a plan for that. If they need help making that plan, then I will gladly help them establish that. I've been sent out a message yesterday, sent out messages a couple days ago talking about the importance of fine-tuning, the importance of limiting our mistakes, the small mistakes, so things as simple as lifting your head off the gun or jumping the targets, moving before the target comes out, things along those lines, establishing plans in sporting clays, really pushing the emphasis on the little things and how important each and every target is that we compete in. That we're going to shoot at. So it is a marathon, that's for sure, of 600 targets through the week, but each and every target does count in the moment. So really emphasizing having focus on every target, not thinking about 10 targets down, 15 targets, the last 100, we have to be focused on the next target that we have control over.
With it being the same course as last year, how does that help in the familiarity, maybe ease nerves or help in your preparation?
Yeah, so we went and practiced at Stockdale Gun Club over in Ackley, Iowa last week to get a better presentation of trap targets specifically. So that gave us a similar background to what we're going to see at the National Shooting Complex in San Antonio, Texas. We followed it up with practicing at Crockett Ridge Sporting Clays that day, which is also in Ackley, practicing on targets that we know we're going to see down there. So that gave us a sense of a course and competing on a true sporting clays course. This week for practice, we set regulation targets just as we know how to, just as we're going to see, and then also work on our sporting clays targets knowing what we've struggled with, so teal targets, incoming targets, certain things that we need to improve upon based on the results from our previous shoots, to what we are expecting to see. Some small window stuff, some open fields, kind of a combination of in the trees, in the open fields, and what targets we could see presented on that.
I know you're really excited coming into this year, and you talked about a lot of the team setting their own goals. How have you seen those achieved so far this season?
Those team goals team and individual goals have been pretty phenomenal to watch the growth of the athletes following their goals. So obviously we set goals for the reason of trying to achieve those, giving us something to work towards. And it's not always shooting related goals. So we've got some athletes that want to achieve some goals in the weight room or in classes, certain things along those lines. So I do require at least 2 shooting related goals, but then I'll give them a third one for outside of shooting, for their personal life or their academic life, certain things like that. So focusing on the all-around individual, on not just shooting sports but that stuff as well, is a great combination, so that they know how I feel about the importance of their life in general, I guess I should say. But in terms of the shooting related sports individually, we've seen a lot of winning the state tournament was one of our team goals, getting a handful of people qualified to go to nationals. We've met a lot of those goals so far, as well as having attendance of the athletes at all the events that we do. They've really pushed each other to be at all the events that we've done. So as a team, you can definitely see the growth individually and as the team, knowing that that's in the back of their mind of, I gave myself these incentives, coach has given me these incentives to work towards, so when I go out and I shoot this 100 straight, I will take Libby to Starbucks and buy her a Starbucks. Something along the lines of, what are these incentives, what are we working for? And then we also get the awards out of that as well. We get the recognition for the school. Everything kind of comes into play. We love goals for that reason right there. So in general, I've seen great growth amongst the athletes individually and as a team, working towards their goals as a whole as well as individually.
How are you hoping to build off last year's 6th place finish at nationals?
So we ended up 6th last year, which was great. Just a couple targets out of, I think we got 4th place in skeet, and so we're just a couple targets out of podium in that. So we're going to focus again on one discipline at a time. So we have it scheduled out to shoot trap and doubles trap one day, and then we're going to shoot skeet the next, double skeet the next day. So 100 targets a day after the 200 the first day, but making sure that we have the focus in on that one discipline. And so as long as we can show up for that individual discipline and work on each station one target at a time, focusing on those, that kind of builds to lead up to the HOA placing. So that 6th place finish was the HOA, but in order to achieve that, if not greater, we have to still be performing in each individual discipline. So rather than looking at that, can we place in the top 3 HOA, which I believe we can, we really need to focus on placing in the not only individual but as a team in the discipline itself. And then with that, with placing in each individual discipline, comes that HOA at the end of it. So I believe working off that 6th place last year, we have room to improve amongst those individual disciplines. We push those a little bit harder that day. This is what we're showing up to do. Make sure you're ready for it. Make sure we're ready to compete, and it'll come all at the end of it.
Good luck next week.
Thank you.